Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is part 6 of What If Naruto Had the Storm release. If you guys enjoy this What If, and want to see part 7 of it, comment down below, and let me know. The like goal for this video is 100 likes. So like this video, to let me know that you're interested in this series, and you want the next part. And go ahead, and check out other What Ifs in the channel. Before we start, please do support for more awesome content. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like, and also share this video with your friends. So let's start this video. Ice Release. Frozen Needles of Death. Dense Shadow Clone Jutsu. 2 shadow clones appeared in front of the 100 charging frozen needles just in time for Naruto to escape Haku's range. Am almost had her in the close range fight. She is getting better at ice style, and here she said she does not want to train on ice style that much. Naruto thought while he jumped back further. If Naruto-kun wants to finish this fight, he has to come closer, and that's when I will beat him. Haku thought while readying more needles. Time to go all out. Naruto shouted, multi-shadow clone jutsu. Hundreds of clones came out in the clearing, and all charged towards Haku. Seeing the waves of clones coming at her, she started making the hand signs while jumping back. She waited a bit and smiled, all in place. Pumping up her chakra, she smirked, ice release. Certain kill ice spears. Suddenly lots of giant ice spikes came from underneath, and destroyed a good amount of clones. Haku released a breath of relief, but it was short-lived when she heard Uzumaki style. Flash clone step. To her shock, Naruto was now holding his blade to her neck. Crafty move, isn't it Hakuni? Not crafty enough. The moment she said that, the part of the blade that was touching her skin froze, and before he could do anything, Haku moved closer and exploded into snow parts which fell fully on Naruto, half freezing him. What is this? Naruto said with chattering teeth. Ice release. Ice clone and ice release. Showering snow. The last one, me and Yamato-sensei came up together to capture a weakened enemy by freezing them, albeit not completely. Haku replied calmly while coming out from behind a tree. She moved in closer to Naruto, but that sealed her fate. Storm release, laser circus. One energy beam came and struck in front of Haku. Seeing the after effect of the attack, Yamato came and shouted, "Stop, it's over. Naruto wins." Haku just shook her head. If that attack hit her, she would be on her way to hospital. And as usual, Naruto started cheering for his own victory. Yahoo! That makes 2 wins and 1 loss. Could have won, if I knew you mastered that move. Haku pouted. Yeah, but you said you are not gonna train on ice release that much. But all I can see, you are using new ice release jutsu every time. Naruto said accusingly. Yamato was pleased to see their progress. After last week's break, they started their usual D-rank mission, but they did them solo. After that, they would do their training, although sometimes they had all-out sparring. And every spar, each of them would come up with different tactics to outdo other. Naruto knew from his first win that, if he could bring Haku into close range, the fight was his, but because he let the first win got to his head, he lost the second one, but the third one was the most interesting. He brought Haku into a close range fight, but when things started looking bad for Haku, she used frozen needle jutsu to put some distance between them, ice version of her water needle. Moving into safe place, Naruto used Shadow Clone Army, but was wiped out by the same move that beat him last time. But interesting thing was, Naruto's clone acted as a line from his place to Haku, and he used Kawarimi on them simultaneously, to move closer to Haku really fast and in a zigzag way. Although this time Haku caught him off guard with 2 of her new ice release moves, but the one she caught was a shadow clone. Even Yamato didn't see when Naruto switched with the clone. Nice fight, you guys. The way you fight and think ahead makes me believe that you are already on Chunin level, but only in combat. There is more you need to learn. Yamato lightened the mood, and then he asked Naruto, when did you switch with the clone, Naruto? Even I didn't see that. Naruto smiled brightly. I didn't switch because from the beginning I wasn't the one who went in with clone step, it was another dense clone. Yamato just laughed. Most unpredictable ninja indeed. What is a dense clone, Naruto-kun? Haku asked. It is one of my own original moves, an improvised version of Shadow Clone. I pump up Shadow Clone with lots of chakra. If I stabilize the chakra, it is a dense version that can withstand a few good solid hits, but will dispel automatically after some uncertain amount of time. And if I don't stabilize the chakra, it will become an explosion version which will do you know what? Naruto laughed. Well, guess you guys are ready for another C-rank mission. Yamato smiled, knowing they had enough team training. The reaction was a cheering Naruto and a smiling Haku. Next day, Hokage Tower. So you think they are ready for another joint C-rank mission? Hiruzen inquired. Yes, their teamwork and performance were more than satisfactory. Yamato eagerly replied back. Okay, we have one rookie team that will do a C-rank mission. They were already briefed, but I will give you the mission parameter. Check with their team. I think they said they will go to the BBQ place to meet with the client. Hiruzen eyed Naruto. He wondered if he would be able to see him smile in front of him again. Will do. Alright team, move out. Yamato ordered. BBQ place. Hello Kurenai-san. Yamato politely greeted their partnered team. Hell yeah. Naruto jumped with joy inwardly, but didn't show anything outside except grinning wildly. As you guys will be our partner in this mission. Nice knowing we have a good backup. Kurenai laughed. The declaration had different reaction from the Genins. Naruto's face-splitting grin told everything. Haku was glad that her first official C-rank mission with someone she knew. Kiba looked pissed for some reason. Hinata was ecstatic that her second C-rank mission would be with her boyfriend, and Shino was being Shino. So, where is the client? Yamato asked. He should be here any minute. Ah, there he is. Kurenai pointed at an old man. Everyone looked to see an old man came there walking with a cane. He was wearing a silver shirt, with a light black colored robe over the top of it, covering slightly below from his knee, to just over his left shoulder. The robe concealed his left side of the upper body, but from the outline anyone can see he was missing his left hand. Hello everyone, I am guessing you are my treasure retrieval team. The old man joked. Treasure was the only thought that went around all the Genin's heads. Everyone meet Karashi, he is the client for this mission, and as he just said we are to retrieve his belonging which was recently stolen by bandits. Kurenai informed everyone. So sensei, we are going to look for some treasure? Kiba asked enthusiastically. I said my treasure, so I am not sure that the object would hold same value to you guys. But it is very important to me. Karashi corrected Kiba. Like Karashi said, it is an important object to him, so we have to track down the bandits and make sure that he gets his treasure back to him safely. Kurenai summarized their mission. Okay guys, for now go, and pack your stuffs. We will be leaving early in the morning. Yamato ordered everyone. Yo Hinata, want to? Before Kiba could even finish, out of nowhere a cat came and hissed at Akamaru, after which it bolted, leaving the dog hot on its tail, giving Kiba no other choice but to follow after them. Now with the nuisance being taken care of, Hina-chan, let me walk you to your house. Naruto asked his girlfriend politely. Hinata blushed hotly. She requested Naruto to keep their relationship secret for now, because she was afraid that if her clan found out they might cause troubles for Naruto. Although Naruto reluctantly agreed, his behavior showed otherwise. He would openly try to flirt with her, which she found cute, would give her flowers and presents occasionally that showed his sweet side, and would lash out at anyone who would try to approach her romantically, which worried her. Well, I guess that's what makes him very special. Hinata squeaked inwardly. Only 4 people knows of their relationship, 3 being told by them, Haku, Yamato and Kurenai, while the last one cause of his observant eyes, Hiashi. For Hiashi, he knew of his daughter's crush, and so a few months back, when they started training together, he had a feeling that things might escalate in near future, but he didn't want it to be this soon. For now he would tolerate their relationship as this was having a huge positive impact on Hinata's life, both physically and mentally. That boy has to have a man-to-man talk with me sometime soon. That was the only thought that went through Hiashi's head when he learned about their relationship. With Naruto. Hinata-chan, how's your Gentle Fist project going? Naruto asked Hinata, remembering her wish to create her own style. Not that good, I combined some of the snake style movements to make mine more flexible, but I feel like it is not enough. Hinata said dejectedly. Anko did show her some of the basic snake styles, but she couldn't combine everything with Gentle Fist. Because both style being so different from one another. You about that, Hinata-chan, here, take this. Naruto gave her a scroll. I found it at Wave as well. First I thought it was a taijutsu scroll after taking a peek, but it is not. It is for some kind of dance moves, I think, fan cloth dance or something like that. I thought it might help you. Naruto explained sheepishly. Thank you, Naruto-kun. Hinata smiled. Taking the scroll, she opened it to take a look. She might not be a professional dancer, though she was taught basic dancing. But she really enjoyed dancing, and she could tell from looking at some moves that this was not a normal regular kind of dancing. The dance moves needed perfect balance, while for the successive execution, one had to be far too flexible. She knew that this was what she needed. Looking around to see if the coast was clear, then to express her thanks, she kissed Naruto on the cheek. Naruto went rigid for a while, then started dancing like a monkey. Score. Cute. Next day, in the morning. Naruto was on cloud 9, why? He and Hinata decided to come early to have some alone time together, after Hinata kissed him on the cheeks and hugged him for some time, to show that how much she appreciated his latest present. She told him that that scroll had what she needed to improve her gentle fists further. The scroll was about an exotic kind of dancing that was deemed to be lost, Dance of the Mermaids. Normally people would ask how some dancing moves could be useful to an assault fighting style. Well, Naruto did ask Hinata. She explained that those dancing moves required one to be perfectly flexible, and also gave some training tips of how to increase one's flexibility. Higher level of the dancing moves even needed some chakra control to have proper balance between speed and flexibility. She already formed some moves combining gentle fist, water manipulation, snake style and dance of the mermaid. All that was left was to create and master them. And the best part was that it had been only 1 day since she got the scroll, and she already got so many ideas. She just couldn't wait to start on them. So it was perfectly sensible for her to show Naruto just how much she cherished it. Well, she did her best considering her shyness, but by the looks of it, Naruto enjoyed it very much. Note to self, bring in more ninja scrolls as a present. Naruto mentally made a note about it. After a while, Haku and Yamato came first and was followed by the rest of the group. So guys, here are the picture of the object. Yamato handed pictures to all the genins. It is a silver-colored metal box with a star symbol engraved on the top. As far we know the bandits, that raided the place was last seen around Kinzen Town, so our first stop is that place, and from there we have to track down the bandits and retrieve the item. Clear. Kurenai summarized their mission. Everyone nodded. Well then, let's move out, Yamato ordered. Kinzen Town. Luckily for them, no problems occurred on their journey to the town, so they reached there after a few hours. Alright guys, everyone will be split into groups and will be given assignments, Yamato told the teams. Shino and Kiba will go and recon the area for any bandits, but do not engage them if you find any. Haku and I will go talk to the chief of this town, and Yamato will be looking for a hotel, while Naruto and Hinata will be gathering information from inside the village. We will be meeting here in the town center. Kurenai laid out the formation. The reactions were the same as expected, but before any could cheer or voice their opinion, Yamato butted in. No time to disagree guys, you heard the lady, move out, and by the way, I will be leaving a shadow clone here, so if you need anything ask the clone. Now go, Yamato said, leaving no room for any arguments. With Hinata and Naruto. So we have to gather information inside the village. Naruto asked while grinning mischievously, which was never a good sign. Hinata nodded, but she knew something was coming. You know Hinata-chan, we can rest and chill for a while before we start, Naruto said, cheekily making Hinata blush. Naruto-kun, we are on a me mission. Concentrate, Hinata chided. They said we are gonna slack off. Naruto's grin increased, while he made his favorite sigh, shadow clone jutsu. 10 clones popped in front of them. Spy formation. Immediately the clones hinged themselves into normal civilian of different ages. Scatter. Naruto howled, making all the clones dashing off inside the village. Hinata was stunned seeing this. They will do the investigation for a while. Naruto started to scratch the back of his head, while his cheek sported a soft blush. You know, I don't think you thanked me enough for the present I gave you this morning. With Kurenai and Haku. Are you sure about this? Kurenai asked while rubbing her head. Yes, but to their defense they didn't know about this. Haku replied back. Why can't I get a simple C-rank mission? Kurenai sighed. Go look for Yamato first, and then regroup with Naruto and Hinata fast. I will go look for the other two. Hopefully those two won't get into any trouble. Meet me with everyone else at the square. Hi, Kurenai-sensei. With that, Haku dashed off. Damn, hope things don't get too complicated. Kurenai only wished. With Kiba and Shino. Shit, this is bad, Kiba yelled. This wouldn't have happened if you acted as you were told, Shino said with an edgy voice. Hey, how come this is my fault? Kiba barked. Let's have a look back then. We were ordered to scout the area only, in case we find any enemy. We were not supposed to engage them, but you acted illogically yet again, deciding you can take on the enemy, Shino said while he narrowly dodged a shuriken. Come on, aren't you supposed to back me up? We are here for bandits, not ninjas. You can't blame me, Kiba replied while he ducked just in time to save his head. Logically, as a comrade I ought to stand by your side in tough times to watch your back, Shino said while breathing hard. Running while dodging was taking its toll on the newly genins. Before Kiba could reply, but right now I doubt I will live long if I act logically. So for now let us use our energy in running instead of bickering, Shino suggested. Before Kiba could reply, he dashed to the side after hearing the warning from Akamaru just in time to dodge an arrow. Both of them looked back to see the attacker. Oh shit. With Naruto and Hinata. Naruto was having a great time. Hinata was giving him a lap pillow, while with one hand she was scratching his whiskers, and with other she was stroking his hair gently. He really liked her touches. It was not for perverted reason, well maybe a bit, but mostly because he was not used to gentle physical touches. He envied other kids for this when he was little. But now that Hinata was his girlfriend, she allowed him to touch her as much as he wanted, not sexually though. Those were still high-level stuffs for a young couple. Hinata blushed cutely when Naruto started rubbing his cheeks against her thighs. She learned one new thing about Naruto, that he liked to cuddle a lot. She knew the reason why, and for that she would let him have his fill. She would blush a lot, but was thankful that Naruto till now never touched her inappropriately in any way. Normally she would faint with the excessive physical contacts, but when she would see Naruto's happy and content face, her embarrassment would be replaced with happiness. But their private moment was interrupted by a huge explosion that came further away from the village. They got up hurriedly, fixing themselves. They ran towards the explosion site. But before going, Naruto made few shadow clones and told them to find others. Battle site. Moments before the large explosion. Kiba and Shino had to admit they were lucky. They went out to scout the area as instructed, but while scouting they found a few bandits in a small camp. Despite Shino's acute protesting, Kiba engaged them and beat them. But to their surprise, more bandits started showing up and, before they could do anything, they were attacked with jutsu, showing them that some enemy ninjas were in the premise. They made a hasty retreat with the enemy hot on their tail. From the attack and precision, Shino deduced that the enemy ninja was at least Chunin level or higher. They were cornered, and when all hope seemed lost, lightning ball. Wood release. Wood locking wall. An intense lightning sphere hit directly at the wooden shield, which at the last minute protected the two fresh genin. Yamato landed directly in front of Kiba and Shino, while a few enemies landed opposite of them. But the one that took everyone's attention was a guy who wore a dark brown sleeveless vest falling to his knees, where the inside was purple, a light brown belt, a light gray pants, and he had bandages covering most of his body, his neck down to his chest, including his arms and his tibias. Raiga Kursuki, the thunder of the hidden mist. Yamato grunted. He cursed his luck bitterly. From the look of it, only Raiga looked an experienced fighter, while others looked mostly low to elite genin level. I didn't know the Konoha had another wood user. Raiga smirked. Boys, leave this one to me, and get the others. Before any of the bandits could move, needles started to fly towards them, and few unlucky ones got hit dead on at the vital points, seeing that every bandit took cover except Raiga. As you got to see your skill as well, hen number 5, take care of the hidden pest. Raiga talked as if there was another person there. Haku got a bad feeling hearing that. Suddenly all of her instincts told her to get away from there fast, and like she was taught, she followed her instincts just in time to dodge an arrow. Someone is out there. Haku started scanning the area, but she kept moving randomly. That girl is good, this ought to be interesting. An unknown figure smirked. Shit, what was that? Yamato panicked a bit. An unknown factor in a shinobi world was always a dangerous thing. Are you sure you can concentrate on other people, wood user? Raiga smirked and readied his swords. Fangs of lightning, he shouted. Seeing the danger, Yamato once again used his wooden defense, but the wooden dome was badly damaged, indicating that it could not go against that attack. Kiba, Shino, leave the area and go find Kurenai. Now, Yamato shouted. If the battle dragged, they would get into the crossfire. Kiba and Shino didn't wait any second longer before they dashed towards the village. After them, Raiga yelled, but immediately needles came and hid in front of the would-be pursuers, showing that the hidden ally was still there. Raiga grunted. Guess it is just you and me, wood user. With that, Raiga charged at Yamato, who started to analyze the situation instantly. Raiga was a lightning user with one of the mist sword, Kiba, whereas he had wood element, which was an advanced natural element based on earth. Not a good choice, but I can back out now, Yamato thought to himself. He threw some shuriken at him to get some distance. After landing a bit far away from Raiga, he pulled out a tanto. He used it to practice with Naruto. But he knew he had to avoid getting into a sword fight at any cost. They were not known as the best kenjutsu users for nothing. What's wrong? Is running away all you can do? Raiga snickered. His attacks are straightforward and packs power. Well, lucky enough my student is the same. Let's see if this works or not. With that thought, Yamato rushed forward. Raiga smirked and steadied himself, but what he didn't expect for Yamato, to throw a smoke bomb at him. Seriously? A smoke bomb? Do you? Before Raiga could finish. Water release. Water bowl. He got hit by a jet of water point blank, throwing him off his feet. He crashed at a tree hard. Yamato, seeing the chance, didn't waste any time. He threw some shuriken and charged at him. To Raiga's credit, he was able to dodge the shurikens, but got some cuts and bruises when Yamato attacked him on close range. He took a kick on the stomach, and using the force he jumped back to put distance between them. Nice one, and let me guess you soaked me thinking that if I use lightning jutsus now I will electrocute myself. You are not the first one to try that. He smirked when he saw Yamato narrowed his eyes. Take this for size, bastard. Lightning dragon tornado. Shit. Current situation. Thanks Haku, you just saved me from getting fried. Yamato chuckled. Moments before Raiga's lightning dragon hit Yamato, Haku came and used her ice mirror to pull Yamato away from the dragon's path. So when the lightning dragon hit the frozen mirrors, it caused a huge explosion. No worries sensei, but I think he can still use the attack. His body is emitting strong lightning chakra. I don't think he is going to fall for the same trick twice. Haku said nervously while still not moving her eyes from Raiga. A nice user, wow. You got some nice bloodlines there. Don't shoot. We will take the girl, we. Raiga stopped in time, and dodged an incoming lightning kunai, while blocking the other two with his swords. You ain't taking shit, asshole. Naruto came and landed in front of everyone, while Hinata landed close to Yamato to check his injuries. A Hyuga, and from the looks of it a seal-less one. Lucky break for me. Raiga laughed. Naruto growled loudly. He pulled out his swords, and took his stance. Checkmate. Raiga smirked. Lightning dragon tornado. But unlike last time where he had to collect the lightning in his body and spin to use the jutsu, this time it was fast and direct, which caught off guard everyone, and Naruto was right in his path. But Naruto knew if he were to move, everyone else would get caught in the attack as they were directly behind him. Determined, he stood his ground. Naruto-kun, no. Hinata yelled and rushed but was caught by Yamato. To everyone's horror, Naruto took the attack full force. His scream could be heard throughout the forest. The whirling vortex of wind and electricity hit Naruto with full power and was tearing him apart, at least that was what everyone thought. Most of the metals in Naruto's body, including his blade, were crumbled to dust, but Naruto still stood his ground. Seeing that Raiga's smirk turned to frown, that brat should have been turned to ashes by now. Naruto opened his eyes to show that they were pure blue now, no pupil, nothing, just pure raging deep blue. Even with all the pressure from the attack, he held out his hands towards Raiga and the bandits. The vortex dragon that was attacking suddenly acted weirdly, as if it was being absorbed. Slowly, to everyone's shock, the whole dragon, or rather the lightning part of it, was absorbed by Naruto. With a semi-conscious state, he shouted, "Maelstrom release, Hydra's rampage." A halo of bright energy started spreading around Naruto's hands, while bright light started covering his hand from wrist up. Slowly the light started spreading and reached the halo, forming a gigantic sphere on Naruto's hand. Suddenly wind violently started to gather around the sphere, and there was a severe screeching noise. To everyone's surprise, pure energy beam forming as a snake with a long horn started coming out from the sphere. And there were total 9 of them. To the enemy's horde they started attacking. It was nothing but a carnage. The energy snake started to tear down all the bandits, as if they were made of paper when impaled them with horns or incinerated them to nothingness with a touch of their body. The snakes continued their rampage randomly for some time, and then slowly they faded. Raiga was holding his ground with sheer determination and pride. He destroyed 2 of the snakes, but he knew without the kiba, he would have had the same fate like the bandits. He didn't waste any time and whistled. Suddenly he was covered by smoke, and when it was cleared, he was long gone. All this time, the Konohanins were holding their breath. The first one to break out from this stupor was Hinata, who immediately dashed towards Naruto when she saw Raiga fled. She didn't dare to look back at the battle site, fearing to see the aftermath of her boyfriend's attack. Yamato came right after her and checked Naruto's vital. He is okay for now, but we have to move him fast. Yamato reassured Hinata, who was sobbing lightly. The coast seems clear, sensei. Let's hurry up before they come back with reinforcements. Haku hurried Yamato, who nodded and picked up Naruto, and headed back to the village. A few hours later, back at the village. "So how is he?" Yamato asked. There was a slight desperation in his tone. "He is out of danger, but he needs time to heal fully. He is having severe chakra exhaustion, and his hands from wrist up are burned badly. Hinata has taken care of the burn. Her herbal cream has sped up the process of the healing. She is taking rest with him now." "What the hell happened?" "It felt like there was a storm going on in your direction. I would have come earlier if I didn't meet Kiba and Shino on the way. They were badly beaten and exhausted, so I had to bring them back here first." Kurenai explained her part. "You have no idea, but first can you explain fully why our mission parameter has changed?" "Haku found me, and just told me that both of you found out that ninjas are involved now, so we had to gather again for the mission update. I need details. Normal ninja is one thing, but facing another mist swordsman is not something to be taken lightly." Yamato sighed. This was not how things were supposed to be. "Which one of the swordsmen we have to deal with?" Kurenai asked with a surprising tone. "Raiga Kurasuki, the thunder of the hidden mist, wielder of Kiba." Hearing that, Kurenai frowned. As things had gone from bad to worse. "Well, from what we learned is that someone started to gather some rogue low-level ninjas and bandits. The reason is unclear, but what we do know is the bandit group we are looking for joined them, making things much harder. The villagers are quite scared of this unified group, so no one raised any voice of objection." Scowling, Kurenai said, "So what would be the best course of action?" Yamato sighed while rubbing his forehead. "What else can we do? I will request for some backup, and hope they can reach on time. Other than that, we have to stay and fight, because we can't retreat with Naruto like that, and we don't know their full number. There was another skull fighter with them, and I am sure that person wasn't injured. So moving around in the dark with an injured ally is not an option. Naruto took out a lot of their men. I am guessing now they are low on number." "What was the technique Naruto used?" Hinata doesn't even want to talk about it. Kurenai was interested. "I don't know myself, but I can tell it is a highest class jutsu. You know Naruto's bloodline, right? For the advanced natural bloodline, sometimes the bearer uses new jutsu unknowingly in life-threatening situations. Even I came up with some of the jutsu like that." Yamato replied back in a tired voice. Hearing the tiredness in his voice, Kurenai softened up. "Hey, at least we have an ace in our group as well. They didn't fight me, so we can use that to gain the upper hand. But for now let us rest. Something tells me we will be needing that quite soon." Yamato nodded in agreement. With Naruto's mindscape. "Ouch, even in my mindscape I am hurting all over." Naruto sighed while stretching his body. "What were you expecting, brat? Just because you were blessed by Lord Raijin, no lightning attack would affect you at all." Raiju grunted. It was calm in his mindscape, no raging wind or thundering clouds, indicating that his mind was also got affected by the brutal attack and vicious counterattack. Well, I kinda half expected that, but come on, did you really thought I was going to move out of the way when my friends and Hinata-chan was behind me? Naruto grunted. No, I guess not, Raiga chuckled softly. Well, that's what makes you who you are. Suddenly he got serious. Your plan was good but flawed. Yes, in some extent you can absorb or reduce the damage of lightning attack for now, but against something of that caliber, it was nothing but a suicidal act. Good thing you used a powerful counter-attack to avoid getting seriously injured. Now that piqued Naruto's interest. What was that, Raiju-san? I don't remember clearly, but I think I used laser circus jutsu, right? Raiju laughed softly. Better if I show you what you did. With that, Raiju showed the memories of his devastating jutsu and its aftermath. Awesome. What the hell was that? Naruto started yelling with overexcitement. That, my boy, was your very first pure storm release jutsu. Well, it seems like you also came up with a nice name for your bloodline. Maelstrom, is it? Fits you. Raiju smiled. Seeing that Naruto looked at him with white puppy eyes, he chuckled. So I'm guessing you need some explanation of the jutsu, right? Naruto nodded shyly. But first I must warn not to use the jutsu until you are ready. Naruto pouted. Oh come on, I did well there. Naruto, you used the lightning of that S-class attack, and then you used your own chakra till the last drop to use this technique. Do you really think you can handle this? Naruto lowered his head with a bit sadness. That's why I was against you learning pure storm attacks so early. They are too strong for you, Naruto. Neither you can control them, nor you have power to properly execute them. So give me your word that you won't use it unless it is a life and death situation. Naruto nodded. Don't feel so bad. Give it some time, and then you will be able to use jutsu like those properly. Now as for how it works, let's just say it is a huge upgraded version of laser circus. In laser circus, you store a medium amount of lightning in water chakra, and combine them to shoot beam at your targets. Here you store more, a lot of more. And when an appropriate amount of them is stored in your hand, you move to wind element which started gathering around you, more specifically around the stored area, and then you can use your jutsu. In this jutsu, water merges with lightning to give it a thick form, so that the lightning can move around with more flexibly, and in some parts wind merges instead of water. It reduces the forking and turbulence of the lightning, while enhances the core, and gives it a very high level of cutting edge which can cut through even normal lightning. Also, the wind and lightning makes a screeching noise to disorient the enemies. Naruto's jaw hit the floor. He didn't fully comprehend the theory behind the jutsu, but he did learn that it was a dangerous wild card. Understanding the risk, he knew what to do. Guess I have to train more if I want to use Maelstrom jutsu. Are all of the real storm release jutsu going to be the epitome of awesomeness while being a pain in the ass to pull it off? Raiju grinned, seeing that his words went through Naruto. Yes, it will, but right now rest. You will need that. Somewhere else. Raiga was sitting in the bed while observing his hands, which were numb from the last battle, mainly the last blow. That was one devastating attack, now wasn't it? Raiga looked in front to see a guy entering the place. He was 5.5 feet tall with black hair, wearing an open jacket which was dark brown with dark green spot everywhere. Inside he was wearing a mesh cloth. Arms in his jacket was folded till his elbow, revealing his bandage-covered arms. His pants matched his jacket. He was holding a medium-sized scroll. In his cheek there was a tattoo, no .5. Ha, nothing I couldn't handle, no .5. Raiga scoffed. Correct me if I am mistaken, but that attack tore through your lightning attacks, right? The guy named No. 5 grinned slightly. Raiga narrowed his eyes but didn't say anything, as he was right. When he saw the attack he used his fangs of lightning, but the beast steered through that. The only reason he was able to destroy 2 snakes out of 9 was because of his swords. When he hit an energy snake with Kiba, it absorbed some of the lightning element from there, and dispersed the rest, effectively destroying it. But even with Kiba he could still feel the backlash of the attack, as if he touched raw lightning. That attack took out most of his men. Now he had to approach this differently. He may be strong, but from the looks of it, he will be out for a few days. I will reach my full fighting level soon, just need some rest. We will have to take them out. Some of them has quite the rare bloodline we could use. Get ready, this fight I will take you and Ramera as well. Raiga said tiredly and lay down on the bed. Whatever you say, boss. Number 5 smirked. Next day, back at the village. Everyone was getting ready for the upcoming attack. They knew that they would be attacked, but what they didn't know was when. Kiba and Shino were having light spar, while Kurenai and Haku were patrolling around the village to look out for any suspicious behavior. Yamato told them that he had something to do, so he would be gone for a while, and Hinata was still beside Naruto, taking care of him. From the looks of it he started to recover but was still unconscious. Suddenly there was an explosion just outside the village gate. Hearing that, the villagers hurried inside to their home. Kurenai looked at Haku, who nodded, getting the message. She bolted to their place to get everyone. Kurenai remembered what Yamato told her before he headed out. Flashback. Are you sure about this, Yamato-san? Kurenai asked. She could already see the incoming headache. Yes, Raiga will attack as soon as he recovers fully, and I am afraid Naruto will still be out considering his health, so that's why I am suggesting to be prepared. If they attack before Naruto recovers, keep Shino guarding him, and we all will move out. Yamato told Kurenai, who knew it was better to listen to him in this kind of situations. She might be more experienced as a jonin, but he was more experienced in the battlefield than her. Don't you think Hinata would be better? Kurenai asked, knowing that she wouldn't be happy to hear that. As much as I would like to have her, or Haku guard Naruto, we will need some power to beat whatever Raiga will try to throw at us, and also to locate their archer. Kiba is brash, so I don't want him guarding Naruto. Shino acts logically, and thinks ahead, so he is perfect for this. Before we go out to confront Raiga and his team, we have to secretly move Naruto to a much safer place just as a precaution. I will go out just for a while to test out something. If it works, I can fight head-on with Raiga. Yamato explained briefly about his plan. Kurenai nodded in acknowledgement. Flashback ends. Kurenai didn't wait long before Yamato came. He looked a bit rusty, indicating that he was training of some sorts. Before she could ask, everyone else came. Hinata was there, but anyone could tell she was reluctant to go. Kurenai just went to her and patted her shoulder, while smiling, making Hinata to feel better. Alright, everyone. Let's move out and remember, follow our commands. These are powerful shinobi we are going to fight. So do not act brashly. Yamato said with steel voice while he narrowed his eyes at Kiba at one point. Kiba gulped, knowing full well that this time mistakes meant death. With that, they all moved out to confront their enemies. Outside the village. So we meet again, wood user. Raiga smirked. They were out in a small open field. Behind Yamato there was the end of the forest from which they came from. A bit to the side there was a hill. But the main problem for our ally was only Raiga was standing in the clearing, while there were no sign of any other. Yamato was glad that he told Hinata and Kurenai to position themselves at the edge of the forest, so that they were not visible, and yet not far away from them in case, if they needed backup. Kiba and Haku were a bit behind Yamato, and were waiting for their order. Raiga and Yamato were having a stare down, waiting to see who would initiate first. Suddenly, Raiga pointed his swords upwards. Bingo! Yamato smirked. Wood style, wood clone jutsu. Two wooden clones came and stood beside Yamato, who threw them some objects, while he shouted at the duo behind him, "Get back and have a look out for the other one." With that, he took out his own sword, but it was slightly different. Take this. Fangs of lightning. The twin lightning strike crushed toward their target, but before they could hit, one of the wood clone came in front of it, and held out the object. To everyone's surprise, it withstood full damage, albeit looking a bit damaged. What just happened? Raiga was confused, but he didn't have time to ponder over it as Yamato charged at him, grinning. His little project worked. He used wood clone as a medium to absorb the lightning, and pass it down to the ground, effectively nullifying the attack, and the clones were holding two metal rods to attract the lightning itself. The clones would take damage depending on the attack, but he upgraded his clone jutsu. Now his wood clones could replenish themselves by taking minerals from the ground, if the damage was not too extensive. So it was the best option to go around Raiga's most of the lightning attacks. He also upgraded his sword. He put a bit of enhanced wood parts in the handle and one side of his sword, so that it could withstand Raiga's own. Swords clashed with each other. Raiga was the better swordsman among them, and both knew that, but Yamato's goal was to deceive Raiga. While he was showing that he was getting aggressive, all he was doing was trying to nerve Raiga into using more of his lightning attacks. Got you? Lightning bolt. Raiga shouted, but before his attack could hit Yamato, he substituted himself with his wooden clone, who once again took the attack, nullifying it, but he saw a small red flash, before substituting which he disregarded. Before Raiga could destroy the clone, Yamato smirked. Wood release. Smothering binding technique. Thick wooden branch started encircling around Raiga, and then suddenly started to bind him. While restricting him, the branch thickened more, making him completely immobilized. Checkmate, Raiga. Yamato smirked, but it vanished when he saw Raiga chuckling. He snapped from his thought by Hinata's yelling, "Yamato-sensei, look out." Yamato didn't know what was going to happen, but he jumped back and shouted, "Wood release." Wood locking wall. Before the wall could even form properly, it was hit by a vortex dragon which crushed it and headed towards him, but one of his wood clones jumped in front of him to take the damage for him. But that caused a great explosion to occur. The clone gave enough time for Yamato to back off, but the force of the explosion was strong enough to make Yamato flew towards Kiba and Haku. Haku caught Yamato in the midair, but cried out when an arrow grazed her shoulder, cutting it deeply. She looked around to see Kiba got hit by arrows as well, one in the leg, and one he was able to dodge in time, but it still cut his arm badly. Few more arrows started to fly towards them, but they were stopped by shuriken, courtesy of Kurenai. Kurenai landed on the clearing and shouted, "Demonic illusion. Haunted mirror." Suddenly the area seemed to distort a bit, and to everyone's surprise, Raiga was standing where Yamato's substituted wood clone was, and the same wood clone was now restricted by wooden branch. Everyone suddenly snapped their head to a screaming voice. A bit further, young boy clutched his head and fell down. He had chin-length purple hair which parted in the middle. He also had light red-colored eyes. He wore a light purple shirt with black stripes on each side, a sash around his waist, a pair of dark-colored pants and sandals. "Renmer," Raiga shouted and jumped to see if the kid was okay. "I am okay, Raiga-san. That woman was able to reverse my genjutsu. It took a lot out of me." With that, the boy called Ranmaru lost consciousness. "What happened?" Yamato grumbled out. "Genjutsu wasn't so strong that even Byakugan couldn't catch it on time." Kurenai explained, which caused Yamato to raise an eyebrow and made a face of "explain please." "This is only a hypothesis, but I think that boy there started to use an area-based genjutsu sometime between the fight. It was showing all of us that there were no disturbance in the nature. So when Raiga started to gather more than normal lightning to use his devastation attack, you couldn't react faster. And for the swap part, I think he used another genjutsu on you to catch you off guard. That kid is something else." Kurenai clarified. Yamato grunted and tried to get up. "So how did Hinata figure it out?" Yamato asked while he motioned something at Haku. "She was using her Byakugan from the start to have a lookout for the archer, so when Raiga was preparing his lethal attack, the environment started changing rapidly. I guess she sensed something was wrong when her vision showed that there was a huge difference in nature from our area to further ones, as she was able to see further. Guess the kid's genjutsu had a limited range. Right now Hinata went after the archer. She got his location. It would be better if you can send someone to back her up," Kurenai said while taking a fighting stance. "Haku," Yamato called her. "The arrow caught my shoulder badly. I was able to stop the bleeding, but I can't use my right arm properly now. Kiba-san here got hit on the leg and his arm. He also took some nasty hit from the blast. I could help Hinata a little bit, but Kiba can't fight." Haku summarized their situation. "Take Kiba out of here and come back to help me." "Kurenai-san, you should go help Hinata," Yamato said while he took his sword. "Are you sure? You took quite a bit of hits." Kurenai was concerned. She wanted to help Hinata true, but Yamato looked quite beaten up. "Yes, I am sure. I might take some nasty hits cause of the explosion, but Raiga is low on chakra. He might have been able to catch me off guard, but he did waste a lot of chakra," Yamato replied back in an assuring voice. Kurenai mouthed thank you, then ran after her student. "Come Raiga, let's finish this. This is dragging way too long for comfort." "Wouldn't have said any better myself." With Hinata. Hinata knew something was wrong. When the battle started to get intense, with her Byakugan she was able to see that the sky further away from them was acting as if it was gathered on their spot. But the sky there wasn't that stormy. Suddenly she saw the pattern on the sky away from them. It was the same. When Raiga used his lightning dragon, she then knew that all of them were trapped in some kind of jutsu. She yelled to warn Yamato. It did save his life, but he still took some damage. Then she saw the archer coming to her vision range. She informed Kurenai, who told her to go after the archer. She reached the top to see the guy with a weird-looking bow. At the male section of the bow, there was 2 sticks pointing inwards which looked some kind of handle, and the string of it was made of chakra. Leave it to a Hyuga to spot the target. But all this actually worked in my favor. So shall we dance, little princess? Number 5 smirked. Back at the village. An explosion rocked the village. Just like Yamato predicted, a good number of bandits came to their place, but what they didn't know was that Naruto was moved to another place, and their previous one was rigged with explosives. So, when Shino saw the chance, he triggered the explosion, killing all the bandits. "What was that?" Naruto said while he steered up. "Naruto-san, it is good to see that you are okay." Shino greeted Naruto. "Where's everyone else?" Naruto said in a panicked voice. He jumped up, but was stopped by Shino. "They're out there fighting, but it will be unwise to join them in your condition," Shino stated, much to his own hesitation. Naruto wanted to shout him, but working with him before, he knew that he had to be calm with him, rather than being edgy. "Look Shino, you saw how strong the opponent was. You are fully capable, and I might be able to help, even if it is a little bit. You and I both know that they will need all the extra hands that they can get," Naruto said with a rigid voice. Shino thought for a while. He knew Naruto was right. He sighed and just shook his head. "Your gears are there," Naruto said. "Let us make haste, but do not strain yourself." Shino gave in. Naruto smiled. With Hinata. Hinata was panting. She didn't expect this. The moment she came here, she charged towards her enemy, who called himself No. 5, but to her surprise the bow he was using suddenly snapped into 2, and he took a hold of them by the sticks. It became a fully different weapon. A tonfa. And he was not a novice with that, so they engaged in a fierce close-range combat. Hinata was more flexible and accurate with her strikes, but her opponent had longer reach and pack power. Sometimes he would rotate the tonfa to increase the range, or to change the direction of the attack. Hinata knew she couldn't fall back, cause the moment she would fall back he would switch back to his bow, and winning would be harder. "Hinata!" Kurenai yelled. Hearing that, Hinata released a breath of relief. "I think playtime is over. Time to do my real mission." With that, No. 5 formed a ramp seal and shouted, "Katsu!" The side of the hill that was facing the battlefield exploded. Everyone was horrified to see a huge landslide fell over all of them who were down on the ground. Even Kurenai, who was on her way there, fell down cause of the landslide. "Everyone!" Hinata panicked. "Do you have time to look at other?" Number 5 taunted. Hinata moved just in time to dodge a lethal arrow. She cursed herself for the blunder. Now that he increased the distance, he was once again using his bow. Why did you do that? Even your own comrades were down there. Hinata was angry, something she wasn't quite familiar with. They were not my comrades. I needed something from them, more specifically from Raiga. Didn't have the chance before, as the guy never let his guard down, but you guys just gave me the perfect opportunity. He grinned. The missed sword. Hinata was surprised. Yup, but I think an unmarked Byakugan will be profitable as well. No. 5 steadied his bow. Hinata shivered but resolved herself quickly and took her stance. With Naruto. While moving to the battle site, they saw the lightning dragon all the way from there. Naruto increased his pace, ignoring Shino's protest. But when they heard series of explosion and felt the ground shaking, Naruto moved so fast that Shino fell behind. Everyone, Hinata. Please be alright. Back with Hinata. Hinata was battered and exhausted. She couldn't keep up with the guy. As she got closer, he would use his tonfa, which was lethal against her unarmed taijutsu. Her gentle fist was strong, but her chakra-enhanced attacks were no match against his chakra-enhanced weapon attacks. He was dragging the battle to tire her down, and despite knowing that she was unable to do anything. No. 5 smirked and shot a fast arrow. Hinata dodged, but she was horrified when she saw him saying, "Checkmate." The arrow exploded, and everything went white. A flash arrow. Hinata, with her Byakugan activated, took the hit hard, even though she dodged. She stressed her eyes to open, just in time to see. Naruto landed on the hill just in time to see. Hinata got hit by an arrow right in her heart. The force of the arrow was so strong that it threw Hinata back. She fell from the hill, but Shino arrived just in time to catch her. Oops. Was she your girlfriend? No. 5 laughed but stopped when he felt the murderous sore. It was pure, it was malicious, it was so strong that he started breathing hard. Red bubbles started to appear from Naruto's body, and slowly it started to make a form. His whiskers became more defined, his teeth grew, he opened his eyes, and it was crimson red with glowing white slit in the middle. Red lightning started to emit from his body as well. Slowly the chaotic chakra made a full form. Form of a fox with one tail with red lighting flickering around the chakra cloak. Naruto looked at No. 5, who found it was even difficult to stand. Naruto tilted his head and smirked viciously. I want to see your insides. Omake. How it began. Unko was celebrating her promotion to Takubetsu Jonin. It was her, Kurenai and Yugao. They were having fun, although from time to time Unko could hear the whispers. She just disregarded them. After a while few other Jonins started to come. Seeing Asume, Kurenai went to talk for a while and Yugao was having a conversation with Haite. Suddenly a guy came and sat beside her. He was of average height and build, and he had dark brown hair tied onto a ponytail. He had a scar that ran across the bridge of his nose, which Unko found a bit sexy. Congratulations on the promotion, the man said. You are congratulating me? So you are not one of those guys that think me as a snake whore? Unko asked in a tipsy voice. The man just raised an eyebrow and chuckled a bit. What's so funny? Most of the people are thinking why is someone like me promoted to Takubetsu Jonin. I bet the third had to go through lots of hassle for me. Unko said with an edgy voice. Do you believe them? The man said with a soft smile. Excuse me? Unko was now giving full attention to the guy. Do you believe all the whispers? All the bad things people say? You got promoted to Takubetsu Jonin with your own effort, and I am sure the shinobi populace is happy to have another tough fighter among us. The man chuckled. Just remember what your friends think about this. And from what can I see, they are truly happy for you. Doesn't all that matter? Unko sighed. Now she got what the man wanted. There were mostly two types of men she had seen, one that avoided her for different reasons, and one that tried to get into her pants. She guessed that he was after the latter, because no one would say something so nice to her out of the blue without wanting something in return. So handsome, want to go celebrate somewhere private? Unko said with a suggestive tone to see what he would do. She expected the guy to jump at the chance or to try to play a bit hard to get game. Maybe he would start flirting. What she didn't expect was that for him to spew his drink while going full tomato red. He looked at her horrified and was trying to form a sentence. Unko was so surprised at the behavior that when Kurenai came and edged her, she jumped. Don't scare me like that, Kure-chan, Unko said while trying to calm down. Hearing the commotion, Yugao came as well. What's wrong? You were talking to someone? She asked as she saw her talking with someone. Yeah, I was. She looked back to see that the guy was gone. He ran, she started chuckling. Slowly it turned to full-blown laughter. This will be interesting. Erika was running full force. He went to the bar to relax as he had a hard day. Catching Naruto was no easy task like everyone else thought it to be. The little devil knew how to avoid his pursuers. At first he viewed Naruto exactly like the villagers, but not so strongly. But slowly that kid started to take a soft spot on him. He learned that he was like him, lonely, thirsting for attention. Now Erika would willingly admit that he liked the blonde prankster. He decided that from then he would follow his own judgment instead of listening to others. So when he came to the pub and saw some girls celebrating for something about promotion, he asked around. He didn't get any good response, so he chose to judge her by himself. At first he understood her pain, she was similar like Naruto. So he responded to her with kindness, but her last statement caught him completely off guard. She was sexy and hot, he would admit that, but one thing he knew from his shinobi career, that the sexier the kunoichi was the more dangerous she would be. So he did the most logical thing. When he saw her distracted, he bolted. But for some reason he couldn't shake of the chill that went down his spine. Thanks for listening. I do hope you enjoyed. If you want a next part of this video, like, subscribe, and comment down below, and turn on that bell notification, and also check out the other videos that I have created, and enjoy. See you in the next video. Peace.